get a better understanding and write about it. Okay. So assumptions. So somebody was asking me the other day, what's the difference between exclusions and assumptions? So, oh, I already started taking photos already. Okay. So exclusion, as you can think.
Switch off this.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, switch off the light. Oh, your attendance. Let's take your attendance first. This is not your attendance.
Teacher,
Yes.
last week tutorial I didn't take.
You got time, eh?
You got time,
Student class every day come up.
Mr. Julius.
Yeah, should be
Last week was when?
Last week tutorial
What
1 to 2.
what day was this?
Same day.
Same day.
Salute. 16.
16. What time?
1 to 2.
Can attendance.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
今天干不错啊，
你就好哦，有 free attendance。
Sorry,
啊，
你还有拿吗？
姐妹。
this one is not okay. 啊，你要说说啊？Today's one, so today's one is, we give you today's one. Okay, 109770 today. Okay, let's continue. So I was saying just now, somebody asked me what's the difference between 3.2 exclusions and 4.2 assumptions. So exclusion, I think you've already written. It's what is not included in this project, right? So you can exclude things like, we give some examples, right? There will be no mobile support. There will be no dedicated mobile iOS or Android app. There will be no multi-language support. There will be no integration with third-party systems. So all those are exclusions, right? So assumptions are the complete opposite. What will be included in this project, but you want to be very clear, so you put it in assumptions. So let me give you a couple of examples. So in assumptions, you can talk about client involvement, for example. In this project, because we are doing the software process model of RAD or incremental, we will expect that the clients will be available during our prototyping phase for a period of 2 weeks during every increment or every prototyping phase. So you could put that type of assumptions. Other assumptions, for example, you could talk about we expect, one of the assumptions we expect is that the client will provide a dedicated room for our software developers to work in when we come into your office. With internet access, with access to printers, whatever, you can put a few assumptions there. So, because some software development projects can happen in the client's office, some can happen back in your own office if you're a software company, right? So you can put that assumption in. What other assumptions can you put in? You can talk, you should do your research, okay? You should Google and find out a bit more about what are the typical assumptions that people write about in software development projects. I'm just giving you a few examples. The other one you can talk about is if there is a restructuring in the client's organization, we are assuming in the assumption that there is no impact on our project team if there is a restructuring of the company. Because you know why? In a lot of companies, sometimes the companies will want to reorganize or put people from this department to another department or promote some people because they got new goals they want to go for in the new financial year, right? So they might have reorganized the company. What happens if your key stakeholder is one of those fellows who got promoted and you won't be involved in your project anymore? Your project will be impacted, right? So you can put it in the assumptions as well.
Sign contract
You cannot, because you can't say, that's why you have to put it in the assumption. You can't assume that this fellow will forever be there, right? So you have to put it in the assumption. And the purpose of the assumption is actually to protect your client, your project team. so that you know what you're saying is we are going to deliver this project as we promised, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, depending what you put. But assuming that all these assumptions will stay true, will be true, right? So it's very good as well. Besides protecting you, it's also very clear in setting the expectation, so there's no misunderstanding between what you're assuming and what the client is thinking about. Okay, it's very clear. Okay, so you should put 3 to 5 assumptions for your assignment. I think it'll be good. Do some research, see what are some very common assumptions people start putting into their project plan for software development projects especially.
Sure.
Yeah.
The assumptions is about the project or about software?
About the software development project that you're going to go through. So you're going to build the software project over 4 months. These are the assumptions that I'm assuming will stay in place during these 3 to 5 months. So
just list the assumptions.
put the assumptions and then write a couple of sentences describing what you mean. Try to be explicit, a bit detailed, so that your client cannot say, "Oh, you didn't say that. What? I thought you meant this one." So try to be a bit more explicit, so the client cannot say that. Okay. So that's assumptions. I think it's very clear, right? So let's move on. Last week when we did our tutorial, we talked about the quality plan, and I think it was quite a bit challenging topic, I think, for a lot of people, because it's a bit abstract, and what we are trying to do today is to write a quality plan, and hopefully it will be clearer. I'm just worried it will be a bit abstract because you haven't covered this in your chapter, but I'm then again reminded that you actually did software quality last sem, so hopefully this is not too challenging. So the quality plan is related to, or before I show you this, the quality plan is related to this website I showed you the other day. Do you all remember? The ISO 25010. So this quality metrics or quality attributes, we are calling it quality attributes, are predefined by ISO 25010 standard. Okay? And it measures different metrics for quality across different areas. So remember we talked about it, functional suitability. So you want to measure quality based on, let's say, functional completeness or functional correctness. If you're not sure what this means, just scroll down. You just Google ISO 25010, you come to this webpage. If you're not sure some of what this means, look at the description down here. So functional completeness, for example, if that's what you choose to select, it describes the degree to which a set of functions cover all the tasks that are intended to meet the user's objective. So it's just making sure that the function that you choose it meets all the requirements of the users, okay? The completeness of it. If you design it to do that, you must do that. Functional correctness must produce accurate results as used by the intended users. So there's a lot. You have to pick, I suggest you pick 2 for writing your quality plan. Okay, so the quality plan, let me show you once again, is 5.1. So this is the quality plan. So select 2 attributes and write the quality plan. Now, how do you write the quality plan? I started writing it for the other class, so I'm not going to erase it, so I'm going to walk through it with you. Okay? So the quality plan, as per your lecture notes, is slide number 15. So this is the quality plan, how it looks like. They give a structure. So the first one is the attribute, which you select from the ISO 25010. So you could choose, for example, learnability. There's one attribute called learnability, which is how easy it is to use the system, following a set of tasks in a specified time. So they measure in time. So whatever attribute you choose, define the attribute. You can take the definition from the ISO website and then apply it to your current scenario. I'll show you after this again how to do that. Then you have to specify the scale. The scale is how you're going to measure this attribute, whether you meet the quality attribute or not. Then you have to describe a test that you have to do. And typically most of the tests you have to write down the steps. Step 1, I will do this. Step 2, I will do this. Step 3, I will do this. And finally, this is how I calculate, how I'm going to measure. So this is a test which describes the method or process to measure that attribute that you just selected. Then you have to specify the min-max acceptable value, which is what is the worst case value that I can accept. So if it's time, for example, we can say the worst case I can accept is 5 minutes for the user to complete this. I'll show you all the examples here, so it will make sense, but I wanted to give you an overview. Then you specify the target range, which is not the worst case, but the ideal case. What is your goal? What is the value that you should be aiming for to say that you've met this quality attribute? So this is the desired range of values. So this is your goal, this is the worst case, and the last one now is the current value. Based on the current testing that we've done, our current value is only 4 minutes, let's say. But the target range is actually between 2 to 3 minutes. But our current range, based on our testing so far, is 5 minutes. So it might not meet the goal yet. So that is what you have to write. So what I'm going to do now is the lighting okay? Can you all see this? Yes, okay. So I'm going to walk through with you. The other group I wrote all from scratch, but since I've already written. So let's take an example. Anybody doing a fast food kiosk ordering system in this class? Wow, okay, I got this example is just for you. But it's not complete, okay? You have to write a bit more. Okay? But it gives you an overview. And the reason that I chose this, I think, is because everybody has been to McDonald's, hopefully, and ordered from the kiosk, right? So that's the process I'm going to take. So I think it will be easy to apply in terms of understanding. Okay, so the quality plan, the system I'm choosing is the fast food kiosk ordering system. And in my mind, because I want to measure learnability, so let me remind you, I show you the definition of learnability because that's what we're going to select. Learnability, okay, you can see here, is the degree to which the functions of a product or system can be learned to be used by users, specified users, within a specified amount of time. Okay, so that's the definition of learnability. How much time will a specified user take to do a specified function? Okay, so the function I'm thinking of, because you know the system, the function I'm thinking of is the whole function of ordering from the menu. Okay, so the scenario or the function, because they use the word function, I'll just put function here so you guys can relate it. So the function I'm thinking of to do my quality test, to measure my quality attribute is the users, when they go to the kiosk, they will see a menu. So you go to McD, you see all the items on the menu, right? Fried chicken, burgers, desserts, everything like mix and match, all that. Then the users select what they want and they will add the items to the cart. Normal, right? So the user can add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items to the cart. Then the users will be presented with a payment screen, right? How do you want to pay? Credit card, debit card, e-wallet. So you put payment, right? And finally, after the user pays, the process payment will go through and the confirmation screen will come up. You have successfully ordered, and here's the receipt, right? So that's the function that I want to test, okay? So if this is the function I want to test, how should I write my quality plan? Okay, so this is one quality plan I'm going to write it. So the first thing you have to write is you have to identify the attribute, as that table showed just now. So let me flip back. Okay, so let's map to here so you can see it. So the first thing you have to do is the quality attribute. So what I've done here is you have to write, I'm putting in short sentences, you have to write in longer sentences of course. So in my case, I've selected learnability and I need to define learnability. So to define it, the easiest way is to go to the ISO website and take the definition. But then you're going to write to relate what that learnability means in the context of your function, your scenario. So what I wrote here is how first-time users can complete the basic tasks such as browsing the menu, selecting food items, adding them to the cart, and paying for the items. Okay. So that's the task, that's the quality attribute I want to do. So I'm defining it and explaining how it applies to my scenario or my function, this definition of learnability. Then the second thing you should do is why you chose this attribute. Okay? So because Also short form, you should write fuller sentences. Because most first-time users have no experience using a kiosk, so the system must be self-explanatory. So if you think about it, was there anybody in McDonald's or KFC standing there giving training on how to use the kiosk? Nobody, right? You go in, you touch the kiosk and you're expected to be able to know how to use it. So that's why, for me, in this example of fast food ordering, learnability is very important. It's an important quality metric. If you're building what's that? Another system like a not training management system, like an ERP system, learnability might not be the first quality metric you want to think about, right? There are a lot of other metrics quality metrics that you can select. Okay, so back to this. So that's the quality attribute. Then we talk about scale. Remember, scale is about the unit of measurement for this quality attribute. So in this case, because I put learnability, once again, I'll flip back and forth so you will see why it's related. ISO 25010 says for learnability, the measurement is the amount of time it takes. So what I put here is time. So I'm going to measure in time, but I'm a bit more explicit because I want to measure time in minutes and not in seconds, not in hours, but in minutes. Okay. Then I describe a little bit more what I mean in the context of this scenario. From the first interaction with the menu screen, which is this guy, to the final payment confirmation screen. Okay. That is the period I want to measure time in minutes. Okay. Then the third thing you do, okay, before I go on, everybody okay here? Okay, is the test. So the test is what are the methods or processes that you are going to use, the methods or processes used to measure this quality of learnability. So what you have to do here is describe your methods or process step by step. And if there are formulas, calculation you need to put in, which I will in my example, so you can see it as well. Okay? So what is my test? My test is I will conduct a usability testing. You all know what usability testing is, right? The user actually tries to use your system. For 10 users. So in my case, I want to test across 10 users because one user might not be fair, right? Because it's only one person. I need to try across more people. But remember, these 10 users must be first-time users who have never seen your kiosk application or used a kiosk system before. I will ask every user from these 10 users to place orders for 2 or 3 items. So up to you, like, you can fix it. And then I will ask the user to make a payment because I'm following this process flow, right? See the menu, select 2 or 3 items, and then make a payment. Then what I will do is I will measure how long users take to complete the task. Because remember, you are measuring in minutes. Here you can be even more specific. I will ask the users to measure, I will measure how long users take to complete the task with using a stopwatch or using software. You can be a bit more specific here. The more specific, the better. And after they have all 10 users have completed the task, I divide it here, I will calculate the average time taken for all the 10 users, across the 10 users. Okay? And so I put my formula here. How do I calculate average time? Total time taken for 10 users divided by 10 users. Very obvious, right? So this is the test. So the next 3 sections that come after it all depends on the test or related to the test. So let's describe it. Okay. All okay so far? Straightforward? Okay, so the next step here is they call it the minimum or the maximum acceptable value. So in my case, minimum doesn't make sense, right? Because I want that, if they can do it in 1 minute, I'm very happy already, right? But maximum is what I'm worried about. So that's why I say that this is the where you put, in my case here, the worst possible scenario. So the worst possible scenario, the max acceptable value I can accept is that the average completion time for 10 users is 5 minutes. So they cannot go more than 5 minutes. That's why it's maximum, right? You might use mean in other situations, but in my case, I use maximum. So this is the worst case scenario. What's this? What's target range? Target range is your desired range of values. What you are, your ideal goal, your desired goal, in this case time, right? So I will write a little bit here, but very briefly, I say the average completion time that we are aiming for should be between 2 to 3 minutes. That's how long we expect users to take to complete this whole process. Okay? But the worst case is 5. So if the average completion time is 5.5 minutes, that means this quality attribute of learnability failed. Then you've got to figure out what is wrong with your system that people cannot complete it even within 5 minutes. So you might need to redesign the structure, do some better UX, UI, process flow, improve how your UI, especially how it looks like, so it becomes more intuitive to use. So this one gives you the part whether you pass or not your quality. And then finally, now means what? Based on initial testing. So I just giving you an example. We have tested for 10 users based on initial testing, and the average completion time is 4.5 minutes. So that reflects what's happening today. So it gives you a feel of whether there are improvements that you need to make. Okay? So you can do a little bit of analysis here besides just saying average completion time is 4.5 minutes. Of course, this one is we have to assume, right? So if you put 4.5 minutes here, what you can do a bit of analysis, and you can say, okay, it still meets our maximum acceptable value, but we have some work to do because our goal is to reach our target range of 2 to 3 minutes. So you can write a little bit of analysis in the now section. So one example, I want you to aim to do 2 quality attributes for your software project. So you will have 2 tables, right? So you choose which one you want and which one makes sense for your project. So what I don't want is everybody decides take learnability because the example is here. Because I will also check, does learnability make sense for your system? It might not, you know. For this kiosk system, might make a lot of sense where there are real end users. This group all smiling already because they know they only have to search for one more, I think. But otherwise, you have to choose something more applicable. Is the room hot or cold? Hot. Very hot, right? Shall I make the aircon colder? Yeah, I'll make it medium. Where is it?
There.
Oh, I already. Okay. Any questions on this? No? Crystal clear? Okay, good. So then we are done.
Done.
I can go off. But no, I'm just kidding. So now what we can do is in practical, we can review your Gantt chart by group or your assignment by group. So if you want any help, just raise your hand and then I'll come over. You all take photo first. Let me get out of the way. I'll come over. Okay. Yes. What's your next? Your side. So I suggest maybe the last one, you put it in the last one. Yeah, so the big table will have subgroups. So the big table will have one category for project team, one category for another software. So you put subtotals for each of the subcategories, and you have a grand total, right? Yeah, so this is correct. So this is project team. So you don't have this role.